I'm Marta, this is Somewhere Library. Welcome back or welcome for the very first time. Today I wanted to talk to you about the books that I've loved the most during this first quarter of the year. I'm super excited about this video, but I'm lazy and I have to go to lunch like in 5 minutes, so I have to be really quick about this one. So I have not taken out the books I was going to talk about. I will put pictures if that's okay with you. So yeah, let's just go into it. So during these first 3 months, so January, February and March, I've read a total of 30 books, which is great. Some of them were awesome and some of them were not. This year, in fact, I didn't have as many trouble as as I have when we used to pick my 5 favorites, because yeah, like I think I have it quite clear. So I've picked fiction books, though I think I'm gonna have a couple of special mentions. Really, I'm just picking between 29 books because I've read The Name of the Wind in March, and if we take into consideration that books, all of the rest can just forget. I can just forget about them. So yeah. So on January, I read a total of 12 books. So I read After I Do by Taylor Jenkins Reid, The Silence of the White City by Eva García Sáenz de Uturri. She's a Spanish author, and she wrote she wrote a trilogy that's over there. I don't know if the camera fits it, but yeah, it's there. Then I read We Should All Be Feminists by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. I don't know if I have said her name correctly, sorry. Then I read by the Spanish author I just told you, The Water Wreaths, I think it would be the translation of the title. Then I read Inside Out by Demi Moore. Then I read The Undercover Economist Strikes Back. Then I read Whiskey in a Teacup by Reese Witherspoon. Then I read Will My Cat Eat My Eyeballs? Big Questions from Tiny Mortals About Death by Caitlin Doughty. This one was super funny. And I know this book sounds weird, but it's super funny. I promise. I guarantee you will have a laugh, even though it's about such heavy topics as daddies. But it's super funny. I highly recommend you pick this one up. And then I read The Curious Case of Benjamin Button by F. Scott Fitzgerald. So yeah. And then on to February, I read Skyward by Brandon Sanderson, Little Woman by Louisa May Alcott, 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene, What Kind of Creatures Are We by Noam Chomsky. I highly recommend you forget this book was ever written, because yeah, it's for linguists, not for regular people. Then The Stranger Beside Me by Anne Rule. The Time Lords by the one I just told you about, Eva García Sáenz de Uturri. Truth or Beat by Penny Reid. Green and Buried by Penny Reid. Beard Science by Penny Reid. Remember Me by Chelsea Bobowski. The Devouring Grey by Christine Lynn Herman. And so that made a total of 11 books in February, Jamie. And then on March I read 7 books, which were Beard in Mind, The Shadow Between Us, The Lost World, Forever Fallen, Doctor Strange Beard, The Library of the Unwritten, and The Name of the Wind. So as I said, I'm not picking the non-fiction, because with the one exception and minus 2 of all of the non-fictions I've read this year, they were all super great. But when I talk about favorite books, I talk about books that are like movies, if you know what I mean. Like, they are fiction, and non-fictions are also my favorite in some cases. But I think I'm gonna do another video talking about non-fiction, but I will give them a shout out at the end of the video. So my favorite ones. In January I read 2 Taylor Jenkins Reid books, and I mean, if she's there, how can I possibly pick any other books? So After I Do and Maybe in Another Life are my favorites from January. Those books were awesome. I think Taylor Jenkins Reid has a way with words and a way to make you empathize with the characters, even though you have not gone through the same situations they have. After I Do is the story about a couple that gets married and they were super in love, but as their marriage moves forward they realize they might not be meant to be together, and so they decide to take a 1-year break in which they cannot speak with each other by any, like they cannot talk with each other by any means, and they just have to go through life as if they were separated, and it was so great. I empathized so much with the main character, with the girl, and I'm not even married, so it was great. She makes you feel as if you were living the situation. And then the other one, maybe in another life, we follow a character that her life is a mess, to be honest, and she goes back to LA where she lived when she was younger, and you follow her as one decision she makes might have taken her through one path or the other, and you follow those two paths, and it was awesome. It was such a great book, such a great concept, and yeah, Taylor Jenkins Reid, she's just awesome. So if you haven't read any book by her, go and read it, because you know you need it. Then into February, I have picked Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. I know I said I was disappointed by this book, and I am disappointed by this book because I was expecting more of it, but by no means doesn't mean I did not enjoy that book, and I did love it. It was awesome. It was so much fun, action-packed, everything I needed in the moment. I'm really looking forward to read Starsight, but I'm like saving it for until I finish Chain of Gold. So yeah, maybe next week or the next one I'll be able to go to it. And the other one that blew my mind was Little Woman. I read an edition when I was younger, and it turns out that edition that I have over here was like a shorter, super coded version of it. But after watching the movie, I wanted to read the book. I did a buddy read with a friend, and it was awesome. It was incredible. It was such a great book. Really, like, now I understand why it has become a classic, and yeah, it's become one of my favorites. It's awesome. And the last book I want to tell you about today, guys, is The Shadow Between Us by Trithia Levenseller. This one took me by surprise. I hope a fun, quick read as her previous books were, but this one took me, like, as I said, by surprise. It was so addicting. The characters were so good. It was awesome, and yeah, it's gone into my favorites. By the way, this list was made in the order I read the books, by no means by preference, and the preference list will go up at the end of the year when I decided which ones are my favorite books of the year. Special mention, as I was saying, to We Should All Be Feminists by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, because that book blew my mind away. It's quite short. It's quite short. It's a TED talk. You can find it probably on YouTube. I haven't checked. But it's really interesting. It has really good points, and you see how she writes this letter to the daughter of her friend, and tell her how she should be inspired to be a feminist, and why men should also be feminists, and it was so great. Yeah, and also shout out for The Stranger Beside Me by Anne Rule. This is a non-fiction about Ted Bundy, and it turns out this journalist, Anne Rule, was asked to write about Ted Bundy case before anyone knew it was Ted Bundy, and it turns out she was friends with him. So it was so awesome to see how she was telling you, I met him and this was happening, I never could have think of him doing blah blah blah. So it's really good. If you are okay with, of course, it has some violent parts because, you know, serial murder, but it was highly entertaining and interesting. And yeah, those are all the books I wanted to talk about, but those were my top 5. Which books were your favorite from the first quarter of the year? Let me know in the comment section, make some recommendations, and see you all in the next video. Bye bye!